Inclusive democracy. Inclusive democracy. Inclusive democracy. Inclusive democracy.
All right. I want to pop.
Thank you, gentlemen. These are the which councils.
No, this is your council.
And approached the Federal High Court of Abuja seeking for certain statutory constitutional rights that inure to the female gender in Nigeria, rights that have been violated over the years by subsequent administrations in this country. Basically, these rights are the rights of gender equality in Nigeria. It's a known fact that the female gender in Nigeria has been marginalized in terms of representation in government. We've had a very, very low underrepresentation of women in political decision-making process in this country, which is a clear violation and breach of Section 2 of the 1990 Constitution thereof, and Section 147 of the Nigerian Constitution, and other international obligations and charters like Article 19, Article 13 of the African Charter on Human and People's Rights, and other international obligations that Nigeria has willfully ratified and are bound by. There's also what is known as the National Gender Policy, which is a national gender policy that was adopted and implemented by Nigeria following the Beijing Declaration of 1995. It is it was first enacted in the year 2000 in Nigeria, and then there was an amendment in 2002. It is also known as the affirmative action, the positive discrimination act or policy of the federal government, which was first enacted in the year 2000, which gives to women 30% representation in terms of decision-making process in Nigeria, both elective and appointive positions. Now, in the year 2006, this 30% affirmative action was raised to 5% affirmative actions. But unfortunately, since the inception of democracy in Nigeria in 1999 till date, that policy statement has never been implemented by any government entity, which is unfortunate. In Africa today, the Nigerian women are the most underrepresented in terms of governance in Africa. The level of representation of women in governance today in Africa is, in the world today, is the lowest. Nigeria has the lowest representation of women in governance. As of today, it is 6.7%. Far below the global rates, the Africa rate, and even the ECOWAS sub-regional rates. So these are some of the issues that the women has been asked by. And you also remember that the issue of representation of women in governance was also a major fulcrum of the campaign of the present APC government in the year 2015 elections. In short, President Muhammadu Buhari, promised women that as soon as it comes into power, it's going to implement the 35% affirmative action of the federal government. But so today, we are still where we are. Women still has less than 7% of the representation of in the elective positions and the appointed positions. So it is on this ground that the women have approached the courts seeking for reliefs that will ensure that we have some level of parity between men and women in terms of government representation.
So what is the reaction of the court?
Well, the matter came up for the first time today. It is for hearing. Justice Abang does not take or does not adjourn cases for mention. It's a policy and it's in line with those of the courts. The matter comes up for hearing, it's for hearing before Justice Abang's court. So today, unfortunately, the defendants were not presented, although they've been served twice, but unfortunately, they were not in court today. And then when the court put it to us, we expressed our desire to ensure that this case goes on the merits. We would have simply asked the court to allow us to adopt our processes and judgment to follow suit. But it is not really, this case is not really a fight between the plaintiffs and the defendants, the president of Nigeria. No, the women are not